What's up, Salvador Briggman here, and today we are doing a start-to-finish tutorial of Godaddy. If you've been thinking about using Godaddy to not only register your domain name, but also set up your own website, and maybe you just need a little bit of guidance going through this process, you're gonna follow along with me as I set up a Godaddy website, plus go through all the features and functions that you should be aware of, specifically if you've never done this before or you're a little bit rusty and you're looking to set up that web presence. I think this is really gonna help you a lot. I love to cover topics just like this on this YouTube channel where I really put out free education, high quality information to help business owners and creators on the path, whether they're trying to launch an online business, even do something in terms of e-commerce. We talk about a lot of that on this channel, and I'm looking forward to getting into this tutorial. So let's get straight to it and discover some of the new tools that you can use, including how to incorporate AI into the creation of your website. All right, man, grab a bowl of popcorn and a Diet Coke and get ready to learn. First of all, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you're gonna click Sign In and you're gonna go to Create an Account. Now you can follow along with me, or what I recommend doing is watching this video, taking some notes, and then going through the process yourself. Once you get to the Create Account screen here, you can either continue with Facebook, continue with Google, or with your own email. I think that logging in with Google is the easiest path, so I'm gonna go down that road. So what I've done is I've logged in with our digital marketing email address here for CrowdCrux. And the first thing that you're going to see is that you can, if you want to, select a new domain name for your business. Maybe you don't yet have a domain name, or you already do have a domain name. Really, I'm focused on the website creation side here for their website builder. So if you wanted to, you can go and look at their domain name, but you don't even necessarily have to do that yet. You can actually get started building your website. So you can scroll down here to the lower right-hand corner, and you're going to click Start for Free to launch the Godaddy Website Builder. Now, hear me out here. This is actually a really important point, and that's that the type of website that you build is going to be different for every industry and every business. So, for example, some people are trying to have customers book appointments. If you're doing something in construction, or you're a lawyer, a doctor, or you have a service-based business, maybe you want to have customers be able to book appointments with you. Another would be a simple informational website, which you can see here, just kind of laying out information leading up to the launch of a larger business, or even just providing more information about your suite of tools and services and products which you're providing. This is very similar to sharing information about your business. If you just want to get some SEO ranking there around your keywords or around your name. Yourself is another also very common way to start a website, which is around your main name. And if you want to start a personal brand, you want to become a creator or a YouTuber, or in some way create your own business around yourself, you could also create a website promoting yourself. And finally, I do have another video out there on YouTube going through specifically how to sell products online, setting up an online store using Godaddy. Now, for this specific tutorial, we're going to start with just a basic website, and we're going to click Continue. As you can see here, there are a lot of different categories which you can choose from when it comes to a basic website. You can have art galleries, real estate agents, accountants, photography. There are so many, and if you choose letting customers book appointments, you're also going to go through this and really getting an idea of how much sales you're going to go through per year. So this is really more so for people that are really trying to get appointments, to have a sales funnel, right? When it comes to that type of website. If you want to share more information about your business, you can also select that one here, and you can also select promote yourself. So you can actually have multiple items, and really what that's going to do is going to customize the website build once you set that up. So I'm just going to click here. I'm going to say start a new business. In terms of sales, we're going to just pick an upper figure here to kind of get started. What type of website do we want? I'm going to say a website that's really going to be around consulting. So we're going to say consulting if we can. And we have consulting here. And we're going to say continue. And now what should we call your website? So this is a great example of getting in a sense of what your SEO and keywords might be. But just for this example, we're going to come up with a name. So just for fun, I'm going to say fitness and wellness consulting. And this would be maybe giving people a sense of advice when it comes to dietary nutrition. It could be for workouts or a personal trainer, right? There's so many ways in which you can do consulting. I personally do more consulting on the digital marketing side and business advice, also helping people launch Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and crowdfunding campaigns. If you want to, you can select your business address. For now, I'm just going to click continue. We don't need to yet put our business address. Now, this is where it starts to get a little bit spicy, because this is where GoDaddy has partnered with Arrow, and it's really using AI in order to build out your website from scratch to do less work, so you can get back to doing what you want to do with your time, right? So I do really appreciate your time, and if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give a thumbs up. So we're going to fill out a little bit of information here about the website. So I'm going to say we help people with fitness and wellness in Miami, because I'm located in Miami, Florida, learn how to eat more healthy, hit their exercise goals, and even live a better life on their own terms. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. Some of us do want six-pack abs, and you want, the set of nice body. But I think a lot of people just want to have that energy to live life fully, richly, and to be able to enjoy every moment there. So as you can see here, it's starting to pull together the website for my fitness and wellness consulting and coaching business. And look at that. Within just a couple of seconds here, we actually now have our website. Now, of course, GoDaddy is asking us to upgrade at this point in time, and I'm actually include a link down below. If you enjoy the way that I teach and educate, you can go and click that link to sign up for GoDaddy via my affiliate link, which will give me a small commission at no expense to you. We really just take those funds and put that back into the channel to create new great videos. But that being said, I would recommend for now just click continue for free, and then we can also customize which sections of our website we'd like to have. So take a look at this. This is really, again, GoDaddy's AI features and functionality. So we have the about, we have online appointments because we selected that functionality that we wanted. We could also have an introduction, content, feature categories. If we wanted to, we could accept PayPal payments, and I'll show you how to do a little bit of that later. But for now, we're just going to click continue to website. Now, the first thing that I'd like you to do, because this is a little bit overwhelming, and again, I commend you so much for showing up and being willing to go through a frustrating process of setting up a new website. So we're going to go bite-sized through this dashboard and really understand some of the features and functions that are available to you. So let's start with our little tour here. So we have color and design. So this is under the theme section here on the right-hand side. You might see that. You might want to blow that up or watch this on your TV or put on your glasses, right? Because this is a little bit small in terms of the text, and I'm going to try to zoom that in. You can see here. So you can change your color and design if you'd like to. Now, I would say this. I do have designers that work with me in terms of my digital marketing agency. I think it's really wise to leave this up to a designer to choose the color palette for your website. That being said, if you want to get in there and you can start to customize, you can do that. But I'm going to show you a little bit better way to go about that process here in just a second. In addition, we have sections. So GoDaddy's website builder basically builds out the website in terms of sections. Not every website builder does that. For example, Lead Pages uses blocks, and I have another whole video out there, tutorial going through Lead Pages. But you have different sections, which is how you build out your actual elements there within your website. And then you have pages. Pages are the pages of your website, like home, contact, about. If you want to have multiple pages that people can click through and go through specifically from the navigation bar, that's where these pages are going to show up. So for example, if we click here on the right, we could add a new page. We could link to an external website, like a Calendly link, so people can book on your appointments if you want to. You can also link to a new section. If you wanted to, you could have a drop down here and create an actual menu, right, going into that. Or we could just click a new page here. And if you wanted to upgrade, you could then add in a new about page, gallery, contact, etc. Right now, we're just going through the free version. You'll also notice here in the lower right-hand corner some of the shortcuts. So, for example, adding an online store, which I went through in another tutorial video. You have your appointments. If you want to have a promotion, you can add that in. I think this is very useful so that if you really want to, you can very quickly enable functionality. So just like from literally the toggle of a button right here, you could enable a pop-up if you wanted to for a specific sale that you're doing or an announcement, or you could link to something if you have a new Instagram, that you're launching, or you could even, if you wanted to, take payments, right, with a specific pop-up. So very easy, as you'll see as we go through this section here on the right. there's a lot of ways in which you can build the functionality into your website. What I'd like to share with you is the themes. So we talked about color and why I think this is a really wise choice to allow a designer to pick out your color palette and some of your fonts as well. Just even changing one or two fonts is going to change the entire feel of your website. So for example, if you want to have a little bit more of a feminine feel here, we're going with this more script, this dancing script, which is going to give that kind of a design feel, right? If we want to have something that's a little bit more strong and a little bit more blocky, you can see here we have the Lato cabin font, and I'm going to scroll down here. We'll do one more Montserrat, and you can see how that's going to change a little bit of the feel as well. So very easy to change this. I think for now we're just going to stay with the dancing script here. If we scroll down as well, you can also select buttons. So with buttons, this is going to change the look and the feel of those specific buttons on your website. I know that sounds pretty obvious, right? But we really just want to dot our I's and cross our T's as we're going through this. So for example, if we wanted to change the look and the feel, all of a sudden that's a little bit more of like an ergonomic feel. It feels a little bit smoother to have a circular button there. Again, these are very minutia design styles that UI and UX is something that's very known for. If we wanted to, we could also change the color of the theme by having that sync up when it comes to the button there. And when we change the theme, that's also going to change the colors of the buttons there in terms of the colors. What I would recommend, and I think this is actually really important, so listen up. If you're like, Sal, this is way too technical for me, take a second to click try a new look, because this is a way you can have a freshly designed new look on your website in literally the click of a button here. So you can scroll down here, you can see, ooh, maybe I want something that looks a little bit more like this, sort of that black, elegant feel. I would say this is a different style, definitely a different brand feel. Or if you're like, you know what, Sal, I want something that's a little bit easier to be able to get people to get started with one unique CTA. In marketing terms, we use the word CTA to correspond to call to action. So maybe if we wanted people to click a button and subscribe, for example, to a newsletter, this could be a great theme to do that. A really important thing that not many people or tutorials will talk about on YouTube is the fact that really the website is there to do a job. It's there as a tool to get people to do something. So that could be, for example, joining a newsletter so you can communicate with them via email marketing. It could be to book an appointment. It could be to show up physically, right? And when it comes to your location, it could even be something along the lines of buying something online, purchasing services ahead of time, right? There's a lot of different purposes to a website, and it should be accomplishing one specific task ideally, and that could be bringing new sales into your account or generating leads, right? And really thinking about what the purpose is going to be for your website. Here on the right, we also have a settings tab. So with this settings tab, you can connect a new domain if you would like to. So if you already have a domain or you'd like to get your domain through Godaddy, you can connect your domain here. Here's a couple really just boring points. This is kind of like when I was going to school, man. I hated going to school because there's so much theory, right? I wasn't really interested in theory when it came to, what I was interested in studying. And actually one of my funnest projects was when I was 13 years old, and one of my mom's friends was setting up a acupuncture business. And she said, hey, would you mind setting up a website for me? And I actually did it, and I hard-coded it in HTML and CSS and started to make drop-down menus and all that kind of stuff. And that was so fun for me, man, because I love practical application. So this might seem a little bit annoying, a little bit boring as we're going through this, but I do think that this says a lot that you can customize, for example, your address, your phone, your category, your email there, the site name. You can go through your social media links. Make sure to fill these out. I find it challenging to remember to do this kind of stuff. So what I do is I create checklists. I think it would be very wise to create a checklist as you're going through this and say, okay, I need to do the social medias at some point in the future. Now, this is a lot of information, and it's even challenging for me to remember to do all of that. So I don't try to keep anything in my head. What I do is I'll create checklists. And you see here in the upper left-hand corner with your browser, it's a great branding opportunity. So you can go and check that out. You can go to my website, crowdcrux.com. You can see our fav icon. We're going to be updating that shortly as well with some of our new branding. you have your SEO settings. Now, this is going to be a little bit challenging for just someone who's getting started, but let's break it down just really simply in a few seconds here. SEO stands for search engine optimization. All that means is that when someone goes to Google and they type in some keywords like, what are some good fitness consulting in my area? Or how can I find a personal trainer near me? Or how can I get nutritional advice from someone here in Miami, Florida, right? You can very easily fill out this information with your page title and your meta description, and that's going to feed information to Google and other search engines, but let's be honest, mostly Google, right? And that way people can discover your website when they start to type in some of those keywords. So I would recommend filling out a little bit there when it comes to SEO. You have some other things here as well, like your site history. I think this is so gosh darn important because I can't tell you the number of times where you have like an intern who's working for you or one of my staff members and they're making some changes and I don't know who is the person that was responsible for that. You can see the website history, right? When it comes to your site history there, or for yourself, right? You've been doing something late at night and you've been working that 8 to 12 extra 4-hour shift, working on your business after your 9 to 5. And you're like, man, I totally forgot what I did yesterday. You can go into your site history and you can go and look through that information. A couple other ones would be cookie banners. This is technically required depending on where it is you're located or the visitors, but this is just going to be that little button that you see here in order to be compliant and something that's important if you're gathering cookies. Cookies is just basically tracking data. I think we were in the sections, the settings here. So we're going to go down here. Google Analytics. I think at this point, this is not a topic that we really need to cover on this video. Google Analytics is just kind of like souped up website tracking on steroids, but it's way not worth your time at this point. I would say this is something that as you're more seasoned, as you're getting along there with your website, you can begin to think more about Google Analytics. Or if you're working with a marketer and that marketer is like a marketing agency or something like that, they're going to utilize Google Analytics in order to really understand the visitor flow on your website. As we go down here, you also have things like a metapixel. So a metapixel is what Facebook uses to track visitors on the web. Sounds pretty creepy because it is. They can know a lot of information about you for people that are interacting on Facebook. And as an advertiser, you can send people to your website and the metapixel is going to track those individuals, right? When it comes to that, we'll go through just one or two more. Facebook meta tags. This is something that I don't think you really need to focus on right now. Again, I'm just giving you an idea of what this is. Also for Pinterest or Google, these are basically advertising tracking tools that you would use in the future if you're going to be advertising on your website. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. So let's kind of go back here. We've talking a little bit about sections, right? So if you wanted to, for example, and you're like, wow, this is really cool, but I wanted to add a new section to the website, all you got to do is click this add section button. And what's going to pop up is a couple of recommendations, a couple of popular sections as well. So for example, the blog recommendation is great. Blogging is incredible for SEO. I actually got started in blogging back in 2012. I also had a blog in 2009, like back in the early days. I love blogging and sharing high quality educational information online. This is a great way for people to discover your website. So for example, if you're doing that, let's just say a wellness consulting or nutritional consulting or health or fitness, you could write an article giving some advice and tips and people might stumble on that article and then come across your website. So you could add blog if you wanted to. You can also then add other blocks here like about, right? You can see here some of the other popular ones, a gift card block, an online store, photo gallery, social media links, you name it, and we'll just maybe add one of these just to kind of give an example here. So I'm going to add the social media links, and you can see how easily that information was populated. And then we would have to obviously customize our social media links to make sure that we have all of these listed out here. So if someone clicks that, they're going to be taken to that specific link. By the way, I am also on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. You can look me up, Salvador Briggman. So if you want to, you can connect with me on either of those points. Another thing I'll say here is that I think it's actually remarkably simple to customize this information. So if you want to, you could zoom in like the way I did right here, and you could change this information in terms of adding bullets or numbers or even colors or the sizes, the fonts, the italics, or here on the right, you can also customize this in this right-hand editor. When it comes to this left-hand image, you can add in or change media, as you can see. You can change the format, you can change the zooming in, you can have a description here for people maybe that are hard of seeing, and they can see that description. So this would be something that would be also useful when it comes to SEO, or you can even add a link if you want to with that image to maybe go to a planner or something that you are creating in that way. Again, if you're liking this video, give me that thumbs up and leave a comment down below. It's a very powerful medium. So you could also link to a private YouTube video and welcome people to your website. If you got a great personality and you're like, Sal, I'm afraid of public speaking, I don't want to do that. Okay, man, you don't got to do that. But if you do feel like your personality shines through, I think this could be a great opportunity to create a very strong instant connection with your audience by maybe incorporating a video onto your homepage there. So the point though is just to illustrate that this is very easy to customize. We can change this information. And as we're going here, this is really just all drag and drop, but also this is very easy to move these sections up by just hitting that button, right? You can see we can move the appointment section down. We can customize this in terms of the appointments. All of this information in terms of the booking buttons here, all of that is able to customize. So this is going to be different for everyone. Some people want to have appointments that allow other individuals to go and book their time. Other people don't. So you can update your availability. You can add booking links. You can view your calendar, right? There's a lot of information you can do here, or you can fill out your social media. So this is really going to be based on what the goal of your website is and what you're looking to accomplish. Now, what I want to share with you in just a second is probably one of the most important elements of this video, and that's because everyone who goes on a website comes from a different device and comes from, a different experience. And some people are visiting your website just like this. I know that, if you're from the older generation or you are familiar with websites, you probably have been visiting websites like this for a large part of your life and also on tablets, right? But the younger generation and increasingly number of older generations as well is visiting websites where? From their mobile device. So that's why I really recommend not only optimizing the look and the feel of your website just for desktop, but as you can see here, the mobile device is king nowadays. So really look at and go through this and imagine, okay, if I am someone who's visiting my site from a mobile device, am I going to take away the information I need to? Am I going to be able to go through the process, right, as I'm going through this and be able to either contact or sign up or watch a video or opt in? Am I going to be able to navigate through these links easily that I put on here? Or if I have a store, is it going to be something that's simple for me to do? Make sure when you're done that you also check your website not only from your laptop, but also from your mobile device. And that's going to be probably one of the biggest tips on this video, which is surprising considering we've been covering a lot so far. All right, man, I just hit publish and look at that. We now have our website, which is published. And if we wanted to, we can connect our own domain to that website next. So I'm going to just click view site. And look at that, we got our website here now. Looks pretty much the way that our customization appeared. And if we want to, we can go in and we can change anything that we need to by just going back to our customization dashboard, right? Our website builder here. So we've gone through a lot of information here, and I'm just gonna leave you with a couple of tidbits and a couple of bits of advice here on the website. So this is going to be more of an advanced section, this next section of the video. If you got to head out, it's been great to have you here, and make sure, again, subscribe to this channel if you want more content just like this. I do also have a free course out there if you're interested in launching a new e-commerce product out there using platforms like Kickstarter. I'm going to link to that down below. You can also check out our website, Crowdcrux Digital, which is for the agency, which I have. And I also have another website, crowdcrux.com, which is my blog where I share free education and information about marketing. But if nothing else, make sure you hit that subscribe button and go and check out some of the links in the description. I got some really great free resources. But for those of you who are sticking around, my man, this is going to get a little bit more advanced. So let's kind of go through this. On the left-hand side of your screen, you should be able to see this website builder menu here. And we're going to open up one of these just so you can kind of see what this is going to look like in terms of the dashboard. So all of a sudden looks a little bit more complicated, right? A little bit more complex. So this is really where you're going to see the back end, as we call it, of your website. This is the dashboard. And as people start to come and start to visit your site, more information is going to be filled out about this. But for example, if you wanted to add a new domain into your workspace, this is the place that you can do it. If you want to go and see your website and look at some of the checklist items which you can add, or that you can ways to enhance your site, for example, uploading media, adding logos, right? Having AI even build your logo. These are different ways you can do that within the website. And it's also going to give you some great recommendations. So maybe saying like, hey, you should improve your SEO, right? Going through some of these premium features, or adding PayPal buttons. So if you are wondering, like, I feel a little bit lost and I just want like a checklist, like what steps should I go through? I think the website checklist dashboard is much more thorough than what you're going to find in our other site builder dashboard. I'm going to go through just a couple of these items just to make you aware of this. And this is just very similar to, you're not going to use all of this necessarily, but you want to know the tools in your toolbox, and it's going to allow you to be much more powerful when it comes to launching your new business, and much more deadly and effective, right, with getting the word out there about what you're doing. So the first one is that if you wanted to, you can set up your own email here to be able to have a professional email address, and that's something you're going to have to set up in order to buy your domain name. You can also set up your commerce section here to be able to select and add new products for people to purchase or sell, whether those are digital products or those are physical products. And I have a whole other video out there on YouTube about the physical product section and how to set up an online store using Godaddy. Based on the topic of our website, I think the one that's going to be very valuable and relevant to you is the appointment section, because this is where you can set up, for example, a service like we're saying nutritional coaching or something that's more fitness coaching related, right? You can set up a service where people can book you for a specific amount of time. When you go through that appointment section here, you can customize things like your calendar, the services that you're offering, the categories, really everything that goes into running a service-based business or a business where you have consulting, which is kind of the topic of our website. You can add in your calendar availability, let people book you. You have the different categories there, the services. You can even do stuff like adding in coupon codes if you wanted to. So this is for someone who's looking to build a website around that. But I would say that regardless of the type of website, you should be aware of the marketing section. Now, why is that important? Well, the website is an asset. It's a tool. It's something that's there that people can discover, right? Marketing is really about driving traffic and increasing discoverability. So driving traffic through things like Instagram ads or Facebook ads, or ways for people to discover you on Google search or Google Maps. I use Google Maps religiously. It's something that is like part of my everyday life. So this is a really important section. And I would actually argue that you should first set up your website and then start to think about a little bit more of this marketing section and filling out some of this key information. So I would say, like, at the very least, beginning to look at the SEO section, because if you have any kind of a local business, people are going to want to discover you locally. And the way that they're going to do that is going to search on Google and other search engines just like that. So it's really important to think about, how are people going to discover you? Who is it that's going to be your ideal customer avatar? And who is it that you're trying to target when it comes to your marketing? Another section here, which is actually different from the email section above that I mentioned. You're like, Sal, you're going over this twice. This is different. Email marketing is different from setting up an email for your website. So email marketing is where you can, for example, send an email campaign to everyone who's in your contact list, to friends and family, or to people that have subscribed to your email list and have opted in. And you can then create an email going through this. You have a specific number of credits, right? Depending on the tier, which you have here on Godaddy. And you can customize the from and all of that information and set up an email campaign here. So marketing is a huge subject. There's a lot of information, right, when it comes to ads and blogs. But the main takeaway from this portion of the video is that this is all customizable. All you got to do is go to that dashboard, that left-hand dashboard side here to be able to open this more easily, and you can see all of that information. And as well as you begin to have people that are purchasing products or services, you can also see the customers as that comes in. Oh man, we've covered a lot in today's YouTube tutorial video, and I really hope that you took away some nuggets of gold when it comes to setting up your own website and just really how easy and how fast this is. I'm telling you, no matter what walk of life you're from, whatever you've been doing before you got to this point in the video, maybe this has been a really long road trying to get a new business set up, or even something you thought about yesterday and you're just taking action, you're an action taker, and I love that. Make sure that you surround yourself with the right voices, that you tune into the right educational information, and more importantly, that you're moving forward with a plan. I think the easiest way to get started with that would be to, number one, subscribe, of course, to this YouTube channel and leave a positive comment down below. Number two, if you are interested in learning more about my website in terms of the work that I do for marketing, you can go to crowdcruxdigital.com. I'll show you that link down below. And also crowdcrux.com if you want to learn more about my blog. If you're looking to launch a new product in the future, I also have a free course out there sharing with you how to get funding, because one of the topics I talk a lot about in this YouTube channel is crowdfunding and how to involve that into your business. And lastly, if you do appreciate this video and you're going to go out there right now and you're going to start your GoDaddy account, please use the link down below. Go through that, because again, that's an affiliate link and we'll get a small commission at no expense to you if you do go through that link. Go out there, man, take some action, move towards your goals with ferocity and confidence, and I promise you, you're going to begin to see some results. My name is Salvador Briggman, and I'll see you next time.